Hi, I'm Christy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here with all the February new releases and my TBR for the month. I'm so excited for February, hoping it's a better month than January went. I feel like that was the longest month in history and it just, let's just like move on from January. So for February, I am so excited. There are so many new releases for the month. And of course I have some book club reads and some read-alongs that I'm co-hosting. So we're going to talk about those first. And then I'll get into all of the new releases on my radar for the month, as well as just some other books that I want to get to throughout the month as well. So let's get into it. So first up, I am a co-host for Historical Hellions, and this is a historical romance book club where we read historical romances published before the year 2000. And I'm a co-host along with Jess from Peace Love Books and Samantha from Books with Samantha. And our February book is An Improper Proposal by Patricia Cabot. This is also the pen name for Meg Cabot, so we are very excited to try this one out. First of all, the metallic on here with the title and the author's name is just stunning. Love the like bouquet of roses as well. This one, I think it's like piratey adventure. Let me see. Yes, it says adventurous outspoken Peyton has two passionate dreams, a clipper ship of her own and the love of Captain Connor Drake, but both seem impossibly out of reach since her beloved captain is about to marry another, and worse, he's been given her ship as a wedding present from her traitorous father. Ooh, okay, this sounds like a lot of fun. Hopefully this one delivers because we have read some pirate ones before and hopefully this one delivers. So we have high hopes for this one. And I'll put up our live show date here. It's going to be on February 23rd on Samantha from Books with Samantha's channel. And we cannot wait to read and then talk about this one. So definitely let me know if you're going to be joining us for our February pick. And then I'm also a co-host for the Leave It to the Prose book club, which is a historical fiction book club that I run with Tori from Novel Life. And so we are so excited for our February pick. So we're actually going to be reading a new February release. There are so many new historical fictions dropping in February. And this is one that we definitely wanted to get to. So this one is Harlem Rhapsody. I'm very excited for this one. Like I said, it's a new release, so it's coming out on February 4th. So definitely get in those early holds if you can, like through your library. I already put a Libby hold out for this one for myself. Cannot wait to check it out. This will be the first time that I'm reading from this author. This one, I believe it takes place in the early 1900s. I want to say like 1919 range in the US. And this one, I think it said the heroine or the main character we're following, like she set off or was part of the Harlem Renaissance. And she's the new literary editor for a magazine for The Crisis. And so I think it is following her story. I think she possibly also has like a romance with the editor of the magazine, her boss. So very intrigued to see how this one goes. I think it's more biographical historical fiction, but I'm very excited to get into it. I think the cover is absolutely stunning. So for our live show, I'll put up the info here. Our live show date is going to be on February 26th, and the live show will be on Tori from Novel Life's channel. So definitely let me know if you're going to be joining us for this one. We can't wait. So then I am a co-host for the Hathaway's Read Along. So myself and a bunch of other historical romance loving booktube friends, we've been co-hosting quite a few like Lisa Kleypas related read-alongs. So we did the entire Wallflower series last year, and now we're on to the Hathaway's series. This is a reread for me. I'm so excited to get into this one. This is Seduce Me at Sunrise, which is book 2 in the Hathaway's series. Here is the gorgeous red and gold cover, two of my favorite colors, and then we have this gorgeous step back moment as well. This is one of my favorite Lisa Kleypas books, and I'm so excited. So angsty, mutual pining. I am here for it. The live show will be on my channel. I'll put up the info here. It's going to be on February 16th. I cannot wait to talk and gush about this one. It's one of my favorites, like I said, and I'm just so excited for this Hathaway's read along. Like I said, I'm rereading them all. It's been a fantastic time, and so definitely let me know if you're going to be joining us, if you've read this one before, if you're going to be reading it for the first time. We cannot wait to chat about it. All right, and then now I'm going to get into the February new releases. So like I mentioned, there are a ton of them, and I'm just going to go off of my graphics that I made for Instagram. So on February 1st, we're getting Devotion by Claire Kent. The author hasn't even released the cover for this one yet. I think it's going to be like just a last minute release. I don't think there were any ARCs or pre-orders for this one. She was just like, I'm going to put it out in February. I'm here for it. I love Claire Kent's books, her post-apocalyptic ones, and kind of her sci-fi romances. I love them to pieces. So I'm very excited for this new one. She's kind of just given teasers and like the vibe of it. I am here for it. So I cannot wait. That's supposed to come out on February 1st. And then February 4th is a very, very, very stacked date for new releases. So first up, we have Unloved by Peyton Corinne. This is a follow-up to Unsteady, which was one of my favorite books of 2024. I've had an arc of this one on my Kindle for quite some time, but I've just been waiting until closer to the release date to get to it. So I cannot wait. I'll probably be reading it this coming weekend, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited for this one. She delivered on like sports romance, emotional elements, mental health rep. I cannot wait. And then we have a new one from Christina Forrest. So this is the Love Lyric. This is the third book in her series that she's currently writing. I read the first two books. Book 1, I absolutely loved it so much. That was The Neighbor Favor. Book 2, I had more issues with and I didn't really love it. So book book 3 is kind of like a make or break for me. I'm hoping I love this one more because of the tropes. So we shall see, but that one comes out on February 4th. Another one for February 4th is Dream Girl Drama by Tessa Bailey. This author's very, very, very hit and miss for me. Usually I'm like, I'm gonna give up on her books, and then I end up getting pulled back in. It's a whole thing. So I might check this one out. This series, I will say, I have enjoyed more than some of her other series. This is the series where I think the first book was Fangirl Down. So like they're a fun time and just kind of like rompy sports action. I think in here the hero is a hockey player, I'm gonna assume. And I just think the colors for the cover are really, really great, especially for like Valentine's and February, like the pink and red. Love it to pieces. So I'll probably check this one out, but probably just from my library and do the audio. So that one's out on February 4th as well. We're just gonna keep the February 4th releases going. So the next one is A Tropical Rebel Gets a Duke by Adriana Herrera. This is the third and final book in her Los Leones series, and I have loved this series so much. I feel like the books have just gotten better and better. I did read an audio ALC of this one already, and I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. This one, I will say, it has some heavier content warnings in here because the heroine in here, she is a female doctor. It's 1880s in Paris. She runs some underground abortion clinics, and in here as well, the hero is a Black Duke. So they have some things to kind of overcome with the times, as well as their kind of relationship with one another. He super wants her, and she's kind of like trying to push away, wants to keep her independence. And so it's kind of him trying to break down her walls, as well as showing that he can be there for her. And the caretaking is just so, so good. Like I said, there are some heavier content warnings, so just know that going in, but I love this one. It's so good. And then we also have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood on February 4th. I know nothing about this book except for it's a new one from Ali Hazelwood. I think in here is somebody like a swimmer, I want to say, possibly. Could be totally wrong. I just kind of jump into Ali Hazelwood books and just see what they're about. I've read all of her books, and so I will be checking this one out as well. I think I put like a Libby Holden for it a couple months ago, so that should be coming in around the release date. And then on February 4th, we also have a historical romance release. So this is Never Gamble Your Heart by Lindsay Lovis. This one I'm very excited for. I actually have an ALC of this one, so I have the audiobook and need to start it probably tonight, if not this weekend, and I can't wait. Love the green on here. I have never read anything from this author before. This one says it's the first book in her Secret Society of Governess Spies. So I'm intrigued for that one, kind of for 2025. I'm hoping to find some new, to me, historical romance authors I enjoy, so maybe this one will be up there. Then we have Sweet Escape by Meredith Wild and Jillian Leota. So this one is also on February 4th. This is the second book in their Small Town series, and the first book I believe was on KU Read and Listen, so I think the second book will be as well, and I'll probably check it out because I did enjoy kind of the side characters that we followed in the first book. It's kind of like set around this kind of, I think, Napa winery, kind of like a family business type situation. Believe that's this series, and if so, I planned it to continue on anyways, so I will probably check this one out as well. Also on February 4th, we have a re-release of Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters. So this is a fantasy romance author, and her books were indie published originally, and they have since been picked up traditionally, and so they've been getting re-releases. So this is the new release for this one. This is book 2 in her Ashen series. I had started the first book, need to still get back to it, but basically it's kind of like a road trip Viking-esque type romantasy series, and so I need to continue on. Also on February 4th, we have a ton of historical fiction releases. So like I mentioned, Harlem Rhapsody by Victoria Christopher Murray, which is my Leave It to the Pros book club pick. This one is going to be on February 4th. We also have Last Twilight in Paris by Pam Jenoff. This one I'm excited to get to as well. Historical fiction, I want to say it's World War II, probably, and the cover is really, really pretty. I really love the teal on here, and I've never read this author before, but I've seen their books quite a few times, so I'm excited to check out this one. I think I put like Libby Holden for honestly all of these. Another one I am dying to get to is Junie by Aaron Crosby Eckstein. This one sounds so good, and the cover, stunning. I am obsessed with this cover, and I cannot wait to check this one out. I believe this one is a debut from an author, and I'm very excited to get to it. I saw it on so many like anticipated release lists for the year, and I am right there with everybody else. I cannot wait for this one. We also have Isola by Allegra Goodman, and this one I'm excited to check out as well on February 4th. So this is, I think they said it was like kind of like historical fiction mixed with like some romance vibes. So this one I want to say is possibly 1600s, Scotland, Ireland, I want to say, something like that. And I think it was giving like Tristan and Isolde vibes. Possibly. I could be totally wrong, but I think that was the case for this one. Either way, I'll check it out and I will let you know what it's about. So we're finally out of those February 4th releases. Like I said, that's going to be a very stacked release date, and I'm kind of here for all of those books, so I cannot wait to check them all out. I am going through these pretty quickly, so as always, I do list every book that I talk about in the description of the video. So if you miss any or want to go back and see the ones I was talking about, you can definitely go check them out in the links below, but let's keep this going. So on February 6th is Skate the Line by S.J. Silvis. This is another one in her hockey romance series that she's currently writing. I think it's like the Blue Devils series, possibly Chicago Blue Devils, maybe. Anyways, I have read the first, did I read the first 2 books? I think, and then I haven't continued on, and I think this is possibly book 4, maybe. But either way, that is out on February 6th. Also on February 6th is Whirlwind by Kayla Grouse. So this one is kind of, I think they're like tornado or storm chasers. This author is a contemporary romance author. She always writes like plus size characters, which I do appreciate. And so this one I will probably check out as well. I think I've checked out all of her books actually. Also on February 6th is You Float My Boat by Lulu Moore. She had like a rowing book last year, and I think this is in that series. And so I never checked out the first book. Still will maybe get to it one day. And so this one's kind of out there on my ever-growing TBR as well. On February 7th by Carla Sorensen, we have This Wild Heart. This is part of her Wilder family series. I think I've only read the first book in the series, and this is many books since then. Possibly book 4, I can't even keep track, but I love the cover for this one. I think this is like a highly anticipated one, possibly the last in the series. I could be wrong. She has so many series that interconnect or have kind of follow the same family, and so this is the Wilder family for this series. On February 10th, we have Under an Endless Moon by A.L. Jackson. This is the second book in her Moonlit Ridge series, which is a darker kind of like MC series. Still need to get to book 1, which I plan to get to this coming month as well. So then maybe I will just roll into book 2 if I love book 1. Then on February 10th by Karina Halley, I swear this author writes so many books so quickly. It is wild to me. This is Death Valley, and this one is going to be like a Red Dead Redemption type of style, like Western style type of book. So I am intrigued, and I will probably check this one out as well. I love that she writes so many books, and they're all very like diverse and different, and so I'm excited to kind of check this one out as well. On February 11th, we have A Rebel Without Claws by Juliet Cross. I'm actually currently reading this one. This is the first book in a new spin-off series from her Stay a Spell series. So it is a second gen series following the children of the Stay a Spell series couples. So I'm a little bit through my arc of this one, and I can't wait to continue on and finish it this weekend. So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's like opposites attract, where he is a bad boy, she's a good girl, and she is the daughter of the couple of the first book of Stay a Spell, so Wolf Gone Wild. She is one of their children. So she is the good girl, and she is an aura witch. And so he is a werewolf who has recently moved to town, a bit of a bad boy. So it's kind of like a forbidden element, and it is their story. And so I can't wait to continue on. Also on February 11th, this one I already read and loved it so much. It was my first 5-star read of the year. This is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Highly, highly, highly recommend everybody check this one out. If you want like a very swoony, romantic, like reminds you why you read romance books kind of book, this is that book. I loved it to pieces. The heroine is a single mom, and the hero is a radio show host, and he has this kind of like love, relationship advice type of show. And so he has recently fallen out of love with the idea of love. And so he is like, I'm the worst person in the world to be doing the show right now. But, you know, the show must carry on. And so one night he gets a call from the heroine's daughter into the show asking for advice and dating help for her mom. And so the mom ends up getting on the show as well and calling in, and they really hit it off, have great banter. And so that clip ends up going viral. And so a bunch of listeners, as well as the producers of the show, they're like, you two need to come back on, and maybe you can like help her find a date and with dating advice, and just like have a show kind of centered around you two. It is so much fun. She's a mechanic, she's a hopeless romantic, and I just loved their pairing and the way that he wants to be there for her. Swoon worthy. Obsessed with this one. Like I said, one of my favorites of the year, my first 5-star read for 2025. Highly recommend checking this one out. I loved it to pieces. It is a Sleepless in Seattle kind of inspired romance, and I loved it. Also on February 11th is Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. This is the third book in her Ruinous Love trilogy. So the last book, I'm assuming, because it is a trilogy. So this is a darker, kind of like dark humor type of romance series. I thought they've all been okay. I think I've given them all 4 stars. So I'll probably still check it out. Not like obsessed with the series. So I'll probably just grab the audio from my library. But like they're a fun, good time when I want to read something a little different. February 12th, we have Sin With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This is part of her Sugarland Creek series. I have read the entire series so far, so I will probably get to this one as well. I have enjoyed the series a ton. I've had some hits, I've had some misses, but I really do enjoy the hits, so I'm excited for this one as well. I honestly don't know anything about it. Going in, I know we've been following kind of the same family and friend group, and so I'm assuming it's another one in that group, and so this one's out on February 12th. Then on February 7th, we have a new one from C.E. Ricky. So it's been a while since I've read any books from this author. I had read quite a few of hers, I think last year and the previous year. And so I'm excited to get to this one as well. This one is Never Will I Ever. It's coming out on February 17th. And this author always, I think always, writes romances. And this one says, he's the one I swore I'd never, ever fall for. So I'm excited for this one. This author kind of always delivers on angsty, kind of emotional reads. So I definitely want to check this one out as well on February 17th. So the next one is a historical fiction. This one comes out on February 18th. This is Maya and Natasha by Elise Durham, and this one I'm very excited for. First of all, the teal, the ballerinas on the cover, it looks stunning. So yes, this one sounds really good. It's a debut, and it says this stunning debut novel set in a fascinating world of Cold War Soviet ballet follows the fates of twin sisters whose bond is competitive, complicated, but never broken. So it says that the twin sisters were born in the midst of the siege of Leningrad in 1941 and immediately abandoned by their mother, who was a prima ballerina at the time. So now it is many years later, it's 1958 and the height of Cold War, and these two twin sisters were kind of raised in the ballet academy, and I am very intrigued by this one. Like I said, the cover's stunning, and that whole like blurb sounds so good. So that one again is out on February 18th. On February 19th, we have Here and Now by Corinne Michaels. This is book 2 in her Ember Falls series, which is her current small town series she's been writing. I read book 1 and it was just okay for me, so I'm kind of not too sure if I'm going to continue on. We shall see. This author's kind of hit and miss for me, and I really want her books to hit because I love the covers and love the vibes of it so much. So we shall see if I continue on. I kind of want to see what early kind of reviewers say about this one first. On February 20th is On Love Rose Lane by Samantha Young. I am dying for this book. I'm so excited. This is going to be a next generation kind of follow-up to her Dublin Street and all of those books that she did back in the like, what, 2010s, 2015 era. Very excited for this next generation of books and just to get back to this whole like on Dublin Street kind of era. Characters, all the things. Very excited for this one. And the pink is perfect for a February release. Then we have The Broker by Nikki Sloan. This is, I think, book 5, book 6 in her Nashville Neighborhood series. This one was going to be a January release and it got pushed back until February. And that's fine with me because there have been so many new releases lately. So I definitely want to get to this one. I've read the entire series, really enjoy these books. I really enjoy Nikki Sloan's writing. When I'm kind of just in the mood for kind of like spicy drama entertaining, I pick up this series. So I'm excited to get to this one. On February 21st, we have My Darling Mayhem by Ashley Munoz. Very excited for this one. I really loved the Stone Riders MC series by this author that I read last year and the year before. That series is finished, and so this one, I don't remember if this is the spin-off series or this is a different series. Could be the spin-off series. Either way, I'm excited for a new one from her. On February 25th, we have While the Duke Was Sleeping by Samara Parrish. I have read this author before, and I thought the book was okay. I read her like debut that came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago, historical romance, and I remember that one had no steam. So I'm curious to see if she kind of continues on with the closed door historical romances or not. So I think that one at the time threw me off because I wasn't expecting it, but if I go in kind of knowing maybe that's how she's gonna write it, my expectations might be a little different. And this one, I love that the couple's smiling on the cover, not really giving me like super historical romance vibes. It's kind of giving like early 1900s vibes, but I'm here for it regardless. And with the title of it, I'm thinking it's kind of like a spin or a take on the Sandra Bullock movie While You Were Sleeping, which I love, which when I was looking up the cover for this one, it did pull up the Sophie Jordan While the Duke Was Sleeping. So I love that we got some historical romances with the same title. Another historical romance on February 25th is The Devil's Charm by Megan Frampton. This is the first book in her Heirs and Spares series. I think this cover is really pretty. I really love the blue and kind of the nighttime garden scene. Very excited to check out this one. This author is another one that's kind of hit and miss for me, but I always kind of try out her historical romances anyways because I'm just like, I want any historical romance I can get my hands on, so I'm excited to check this one out on February 25th. Also on February 25th is The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy, so I got this one as some surprise book mail the other day in the mail. This is an ARC copy, and I cannot wait to get to this one. It came with some really cute art as well. This one, it says Golden Retriever with a Dirty Mouth, Playboy with a Heart of Gold, College Hockey, Secret Dating, Spicy Texting, Sorority Girl with a Secret, MFM Romance. So this is book 3 in her Campus Diaries series, which is her current series she's been writing, which is kind of like a spin-off slash second gen type of setting for her off-campus and Briar U series. And so this is the new generation of series she's been writing. So I remember at the end of book 2, it was kind of hinted at that this was going to be like an MMF situation. So when the publisher recently put out that it's going to be MFM, it was quite a stir on Instagram. So I'm very excited to see where this is going to go and excited to check it out. I really love the colors of the cover as well. And I just love Elle Kennedy's writing. Her hockey romances are always just so good. I've been reading her for years. So I cannot wait to check this one out on February 25th. All right, and then a few more. So we have also on February 25th is Best Friends for Never by Tegan Hunter. This one I honestly don't know too much about. I have read quite a few of this author's hockey romances in the past. And this one I think is possibly like a standalone that she has coming out. And so I don't even know too much about it, but it's out on February 25th. Also on February 25th is Mr. Swoony by Piper Rain. This is the third book, I think, in this series by this author duo. I read the first book and I thought it was just okay, so I haven't continued on. This is book 3 though. I do love the orange and green combo, so I probably won't check it out, but it is a hockey romance. On February 27th, we have Stolen Vows from Penelope Black. This is an author that I actually want to check out soon, so this is the newest in her Avalon Falls series. So I'm not going to start with this one because I think this is book 3, possibly, maybe 4 in her series. So I want to start at the beginning, but it is definitely a series on my radar that I want to get to. I love the cover. And then lastly, for new releases, on February 28th, we have Game Misconduct by Emily Silver. And this is a new book in her Nashville Nights series. I think it's the start of a new series, could be wrong. Hockey romance. This author always kind of delivers on low inks, just like really cute, fun times. Haven't kept up with some of her newer releases, but I have read quite a few from her backlist. So yeah, this one's out on February 28th. All right, and then the rest of these are just kind of books that are on my radar in general, or that I want to make a priority for February. So a lot of these are going to be backlist reads. So first up, we have A Wicked Kind of Husband by Mia Vinci. This author is a historical romance author, and this book has been on my TBR for, I think, 3 or 4 years now at this point, and I finally just want to get to it. I remember hearing great things about it. I think it's arranged marriage, marriage of convenience. Actually, it could be marriage in crisis. I can't even recall, but I wanted to get to this one, and I know that the audiobook is available on Hoopla, so I'm excited. Like I said, this is the year of me finding some new to me favorite historical romance authors. I also have When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. So I have this really pretty hardcover edition with the gorgeous like powder blue sprayed edges. I know this one was super popular last year, got a whole traditional release, got picked up, got all the things. And so this is one I've heard kind of mixed things about this author's writing and about her style and this book in general. So I'm kind of wary to get to it, but I just finally want to get to it and see if I enjoy it or not so that I can, you know, keep this on my shelves or unhaul it. So we shall see what I think about this one. I also have All Roads Here by Mariana Zapata. This is one that has been on my TBR for quite some time as well. I used to read this author's books quite a few years ago, and then I just kind of stopped because I wasn't in the mood for slow burn at the time. And so this is one that I've heard is really good, and a lot of people say that I will like this one. So I am intrigued. This one I know is a single dad romance. I think it's small town, and I think he's grumpy. So I'm excited to check this one out. I think that Mariana Zapata is supposed to be as well at the Magic with the Bells kind of book signing in March in Florida that I'll be at. So I need to get through some more of her books to see if I love them and need to bring them for her to sign. And then I mentioned it earlier with the book 2 coming out in February, but this is From Here to Eternity by A.L. Jackson. So I got this gorgeous paperback for Christmas from my sweet friend Sarah. And so I want to check this one out. So this is book 2 in the series. I think it's Dark MC, and I'm excited to read this one and then go on to book 2. So yeah, I can't wait to get to this one. Also love that it's very much matching me today with the pink. Speaking of pink, this is The Prince of Prohibition by Marilyn Marks. This is another one that was a Christmas gift, and I cannot wait to get to it. So this one, I was told it's fantasy romance like ACOTAR vibes meets the 1920s kind of like Flapper, Great Gatsby type of era. So I'm very intrigued because I love both of those things, and so I cannot wait to check this one out. I've heard amazing things. So many people have told me that they love this one as well, so I am excited. I know that the audiobook for this one is available on Hoopla as well, so yeah, I can't wait to check this one out. Also have P.S. You're Intolerable by Julia Wolf. So this was a special edition that I think, was it Dark and Quirky? I think they did this one last year in a book box that I got, and so I have heard good things about this one. I think this is a workplace romance, and I think in here, is this the one where the heroine is pregnant with somebody else's baby? Possibly. I think it's plus size rep as well. Hopefully this is the right book. If so, I did grab the audio during the recent Audible sale, so I definitely want to get to this one. I've heard great things from some friends who have read it. And then some others that I have. So I have The Perfect Rake by Anne Gracie. So I recently tried the Chance Sisters series from this author that I thought was just okay, but a bunch of friends told me to try this one as well. I got this wrecked actually quite a few times on Instagram, as well as I know my friend Monica recommended this one to me as well. And so they said, give this one a try. This is one of her older ones that hits better. So I want to try this one out and see if this author, maybe the other series just wasn't for me, and see if I enjoy this one more. We shall see. So I know the audio for this one is on Hoopla as well, and this is a historical romance. Then these next 3 are ones that I talked about during my recent Kindle Unlimited TBR video. So I'll just like talk about a few because obviously all the rest of those are on my TBR still too. So we have The Runaway Heiress by Harper St. George. This one's on Kindle Unlimited, and the author had posted on Instagram that she recently got the rights back to the series or something, and so she revised, re-edited, and was able to republish them on KU. And so this is the prequel of the series, and I think this is called the Gilded West series. I think it's Gilded Age set in the US, but like Western and set in Montana, I think. So I'm very intrigued. intrigued. I have enjoyed actually all the historical romances from this author I've read, so I want to try this other series from her as well and check this one out. Then I have on Kindle Unlimited as well is Chasing the Wild by Elliot Rose. So these ones I know they are steamy, spicy, just a fun time, and so I think they're all age gap. This one I think is X's dad, so when I'm in the mood for kind of that kind of vibe, I will pick this one up. And then I also have Broken Pact by Penelope Black. So like I said earlier, with her new book From the Avalon Falls series coming out in February, this is the first book in the series, so I need to begin at the beginning and read this one first. So this I have out from KU as well because I want to try this author out. All right, so those are all of the February releases and the books on my radar for the month that I want to get to. Definitely let me know in the comments if you're going to be reading any of these as well. If you're going to be joining any of the book clubs that I'm co-hosting or the read-alongs I'm a co-host for, definitely let me know that as well. I would love to know if you're joining us. If there were any February releases that I forgot to talk about, definitely let me know that as well. And if you'd rather leave me an emoji in the comments today to let me know that you watched this video, leave me like a water cup, since there's this like a cup on the cover of this one. I think there's like a water cup, at least a cup with a straw, might be a styrofoam cup. I'll leave that emoji in the comments. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!